Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. You are welcome to be here. So welcome. So today, I don't have a lot of space on my little counter here at the moment, so bear with me. But we're going to be talking about generating your own world of wealth, okay, and what real wealth is. Okay, there's probably another clip going to be coming up about that, but here I'm talking about internal, okay, and external resources and where to focus and when to focus on them. What even are they? The reason we're talking about this is because majority of the world is focused so heavily on the external resources. Now, what do I mean by that? The external things are the things that you can physically and tangibly see in your world. Okay, these are the things like, actual money in your hands, actual like your material things, your house, your cars, everything that's tangible and physical, that we see. The world is so heavily focused on our external resources as a marker of how to generate wealth. Now that is where we fundamentally, I can't swear, but mess up. So especially, and it depends, because actually focusing on your external cues and markers of wealth, I guess, is very valuable when you get to a certain level of creation. Okay, but for most of us, we are still, creating that and generating that sense for ourselves. So this is where it becomes very dangerous. Everybody's so heavily focused on the external that we tend to, like, accidentally, or just because of the collective consciousness, we get swarmed into that kind of way of thinking. So I want to reel it back and I want us to really focus on our internal resources, because this is what really powerful and strong people who can generate wealth on a daily, weekly basis can do really well. Okay, so this is about your internal resources, and it's particularly potent and powerful and useful for you to use this focus and shift your focus to your internal resources when you are in the process of generating external resources that might be a marker of your wealth. Okay, so yes, it's true that what's on the inside can be is reflected on the outside. But if we were only to focus on what's on the outside, what would happen? What would happen? What would happen if we only focused on our external resources while we were trying to build wealth? Health, wealth, peace, prosperity, love, abundance. It's all the same. It's all the same frequency. So what would happen? We would start to feel very devastated, and our mind would be flooded with thoughts of devastation and fear, right? So we would end up thinking, oh my gosh, I've got this, it's not enough. I've got that, but it will never do. I've got this, but how can I get that? It will be all very lack and scarcity, and we have to trade one thing for the other, and we get really focused on that. We start to believe that we have to trade our health long term for because of what we're seeing on the outside. And this is, there are circumstances and stages and seasons where this might be, a useful mentality to have, because if you're coming up really right up out of the ground, and you've been really, really in extremely challenging circumstances, and you don't have support, or you are not so focused on your internal resources. This is the thing. Here we go. If you're not so focused on your internal resources because you are like, you become victim to your circumstances, and your thoughts and your mind and everything is swarmed and swamped with everything that already is instead of what could be, we run into danger. Okay, we do have to end up trading health, like our physical well-being, short-term. Like, usually it's like, hopefully we pray that it's just short-term health if you are going to adopt that approach, and that hustle kind of mentality, but we all know that it's not sustainable. Okay, so we want people to focus on their internal resources when they're in the state of building, because that's what actually helps people to pull in and seek out support. So your internal resources, Your external resources are on the outside. They're tangible, they're physical. We can sense them with our eyes, we can touch them with our hands. We can, they're very physical in this 3D reality. We can see it. Okay. Now, what we can't see is our internal resources all the time. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. And you have to tap into that knowing all the time. Not gonna swear, but that's the energy behind it. You know what I mean? Like, we have to. And so if we focus on our internal resources, I'm talking about the things that we are born with innately to the human condition. Okay, humans are innately born with this ability to create and sustain life. Okay, we have these abilities to seek, to find, to pull in, to extract the best of, to switch on and switch off the right things and elements in our environment in order to amplify our life and make sure that it's nourished and sustained, maintained, right? So those are the things that we want to really focus on. So your ability to seek support, your ability to call in support, your ability to remain uh, hopeful and so clear in your mind that it's possible. Okay, so these things I'm talking about, they're intangible. You can't see them. When I look at a person, I can only see their eyes, ears, mouth, and nose, but you can't really see their internal resources. Um, Over time, they might radiate those internal resources, yeah, but initially it might be difficult to separate them out, especially when you're coming from that kind of lower consciousness level where you're not able to seek and see as much as what's actually going on. Okay. um, does that make sense? Sometimes I say things and I'm like, it makes sense in my head, but it may not. And so I just hope you get the sentences that you need to activate you personally to become more loving, more compassionate, more empathetic, more trusting, and more like smarter, wiser. That's the aim. Okay. That's the real goal. The real goal. So when we focus on our internal resources, we can actually manifest and create external resources that align with who we're trying to be rather than what we already are. Okay, so we can't be getting sucked into our external resources when we're in the process of creating. How the heaven do you focus on your internal resources? Okay, now that we know what they are, your ability to find, seek, pull in, draw, transform, all of those things, right? We can use our eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and our legs and hands and all of that to pull in support. Okay, it is about pulling in support. It is also about going out and getting support, finding support, and having good discernment. So in order to do those things, you have to really start tuning into your body and doing your inner work. Okay, that's why I'm so obsessed with inner work, because when you focus on your inner world, you really do transform your outer world. And so the ability to hope and remember and know all of these things, your internal resources, that takes practice, because the world is trying to absorb our consciousness of that. Okay, so we need to just like get it back and stay in that knowing. So you need to be around people who are deep in that knowing, who frequently fly in that same space, who frequently remember, who put themselves in situations where that's all they know. Okay, they're busy brainwashing themselves for prosperity. That's one way you can do it, right? So like, apart from your friends and your peers and people on the same level as you, you must go higher. You must go, if you are the one in your circle who is at the top, you have to go greater. Okay, if you want to be lifted up and out. Okay, and transform your circumstances. So hiring coaches, hiring experts, hiring people who understand this stuff, who care to focus on it, and have broken down the process, have reverse engineered it for you. That is what we need to be really doing. Okay, because people are different to things. Okay, humans respond super well to people, not things. Okay, to people, not things. Because yeah, from the time we are born, we are like evolutionarily wired to perceive people. Okay, a face, We can pick it up out of a crowd, okay? We will be more likely to be drawn to a face than like an animal face, or certain things. There is neurochemistry and biology that gears us to or drives us to seek human support, okay, or be more vulnerable to the impact or the effect of another human being. Okay, if your cat was likely to be like walk away, okay, when you go to pet it, you might be hurt. You might be like, oh, it's gonna hurt a lot more when your boss decides to fire you, or when another human, your friend, leaves you, or you know it's not the same. Okay, so this is why getting around the right people in the right rooms and being mindful of that is useful. And actually somebody who knows your personal circumstance, this is the difference, because there's lots of free content out there, but the difference is having somebody who innately, like, who not innately but intuitively, as well as practically, logically, reasonably, analytically, can really pick apart your personal process so that you understand yourself and have another mirror to be like, oh, am I checking myself in the right ways? Oh, hang on, hold on. This is somebody who can reflect back to you your circumstances. They need to know your circumstances. You might relate to other circumstances by watching content. You might watch this kind of stuff and find benefit from it, which is awesome. But really, to have a strong connection, to continue to co-create with the universe and with all the resources that are available to us here, it helps to have somebody, an anchor in a human form, that is able to reflect back to you based on your personal circumstances, based on your family, your friends, your relationship, your level of healing, your consciousness. It helps to have them reflect back to you what might be useful, or break it down for you with you. So that's one of the biggest things. And also just the other thing is hope. Okay, you have to sustain your hope, and you can do this in a number of ways, but again, it's about acknowledging that that's the only thing that keeps us going. So at any point where your hope starts to dwindle, you need to catch yourself. Okay, you need to get into those right rooms, or watch the movie, draw the art, stay in your creative space, so that you can never, never, never be hopeless. Okay, you always stay in a state of knowing that help is on the way. It's possible to create. We can easily access it, just if we ask, only just if we share our story, only if we just choose connection. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a human you connect with if that's too terrifying for you at the moment. I understand that, because there are situations where we've all been severely traumatized, and seeking help from another human being can be kind of threatening and scary. But for whatever it is for you, connect with some content online. Connect with your pen to paper. Connect. Write. Discharge. Remind yourself of this ability that you have to put pen to paper and actually express. That is the magic. That is the beauty. That is the internal resource. Okay, the book and the pen may be the external resources, but if you're focusing on your ability to flow and create and express, no matter how harsh or whatever it is, that is focusing on your internal resources. Okay, so journaling, other various spiritual practices, and focusing on your energetics, that's one way to do it as well. So not one way, that is like those are some major ways that you can remember your internal resources, like your will, your motivation, your drive, your hope. We talked about your creative potential. Like, those are your internal resources that you need people who can help you to access those things. You need processes and practices and rituals and things that allow you to tap into that internal resource regularly, and so that it's just becomes embodied and it's just your natural state. That way, when you do focus on those things, your external world will genuinely become a reflection of your internal knowing. Okay. So I hope this makes sense. I'm going to leave it at that. And yeah, it's been an honor to connect with you. And I hope you've enjoyed and taken away something. If you have, let me know. My links are in the bio as well. I've got my Instagram. My name is Nimesha. And I'm so pleased to connect with you on this note. Thank you.